Hey everyone, welcome to the Camppatton Family Compounds Monday night fireside chat. And tonight's topic is your pantry stocked for winter? Well, at least that's our starting topic. How's everybody doing out there? What a day. Running around in circles here. All right, well, first of all, let's go back and see who all's here and say hi to everybody. All right, so first one in was Uncle Al and at Die Bullfrog 79, then CR from North of the Border, that's our Creative Redundancy. And of course, the Evil Twins starts firing off all the emojis that members get to use. Chipper66 is in the house. Jay is in the house. Julie Evans stopped by. Garden State Gardener's here. And everybody's talking. LG is here. And I think Grammy Karen is here. Kaylin Strain is here, and she's peeling an orange. All righty. So before I go any farther, since it's going across the bottom there, just, channel members, membership is only 99 cents a month. And so these are our channel members. So this is going to fire this off and show you our channel members. This ain't Camp Crystal Lake. We have fun here. Got a lag time because I was watching on YouTube. It went through it and it played everything, but it was lagging behind here on StreamYard. And it's going, okay, what the heck's going on? And all of a sudden, electromagnetic stuff's going on from the sun again this week. All right. Back up here and catch up on the new one. All right. Tammy Rebel Canners has come in. CP from Hugo Homestead is here. And let's see, who else has popped in here? Kaylin said her gift membership expired and she can't renew it yet. That's cool. And okay, I think we caught up there with everybody. All right. Okay, so the question is your pantry stocked for winter? Well, let's take a look at things and check things out and see what we got going on here. And there we go. So let's see what, and I froze. Does your pantry look like this? Well, it may look like that, but is it really stocked with everything you're going to need to get through winter? Does it look like this? Oh, well, let's see. They got a lot of Chef Boyardee there. Boy, do they got a lot of Chef Boyardee. They got a lot of tuna down below, a lot of tomatoes products, a lot of grape jelly and jams there. And they got the paper towels and stuff. But this one looks a little bit more well-rounded. Or does yours have holes like this one does, where things aren't stocked up yet? Don't forget, you got to include the stuff that you can yourself and grow yourself. So, and there we go. Nope, don't have a secret bunker to store stuff in. Well, my secret bunker really is, let's see, that's this room here, that wall over there, out in the shop. Yeah. And then I got stuff out in the cargo containers. So I have my stuff spread around just in case something happens to one spot, everything's not affected. Hey, Gunslinger Outdoors, how's it going? That's the important thing. You should, if you have enough to make it through. What was funny is I had this thing scheduled for a while, and then Tammy at Rebel Canners did a short about how deep is your larder, and I think it was a short. It wasn't that long of a video, and the emphasis was: do you have enough to get you through the winter and into springtime when you start planting? And I like to say, do you have enough to get through not just winter time? Do you have enough to get through 2 winters? So if you think about it, you want to get through the winter and the summer in case you don't, your garden fails on you totally, and get you through the next winter so you have a shot at it the next spring. That was a short. Okay. Hey, Stephanie, how's it going? All right. So I'm thinking here as I'm looking at the thing here. I'm going to throw this out here for Control C for those that for the usual suspects and anybody that's a member or been around for a while that wants to come up here. Hey, Jeremy, how's it going? Yeah, I think if we all take a look back, we're all going to see gaps. And it's Brett at Fireside Homestead. Woohoo! So there's the link if any of you guys want to come on up here, and we'll talk about this for a little bit. And in about a half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe a little less, we're going to switch, and we're going to talk about. Well, today would have been my dad's 92nd birthday, so we'll get to that later on. Okay, Tammy's going to come up in a minute. So. Yeah, well, some of the things to consider is, and now there are a bunch of us in here that are doing Courtney's over at White Family Farms doing the weight loss challenge, and I brought some stuff in here for that too. This is some stuff that my wife had stocked up here prior to that, and the first can is 150 calories per can, 2 servings per can. So, whew. So yeah, we got a bunch of these, so that's going to be helping me when it gets cold and snowy, keep me from overeating. One of our favorite type ones is the chicken tortilla, and this one is 190 calories per can. Now, this one is the one that has the most in it, the tomato basil. It's 270 calories per can. Now, don't freak out about that. If you know, I was reading several different places, and they gave me 2 different formulas to figure out how many calories per day I should be eating based on what I want my weight to be. Well, I want my weight down to 165. And the one said you should eat, you take the number, your goal number, multiply it by 10, and that's how many calories you should eat per day, which would be 1,650 calories. Froze. Well, while I froze, the seal Tibor popped in, and Where to Begin Homestead popped in. Hey, how's it going? Now, the other one I read, which was from, was it AARP, said you take and multiply it by 15. So instead of being 1,650, it would be 2,475 calories a day to lose weight down to 165 pounds. So, even if it's 1,600, if I eat 270 calories for one meal, there's Tammy. Hey. So if I eat 270 calories for one meal, that's not even a fifth of what I can eat during the day and still lose weight. But how's it going, Tammy? Can you hear me? It looks like she's having some internet problems. And Salt and Light Kathy is here. I can hear some noise coming through from Tammy. Tammy, can you hear me?
Good, but it snowed today. Me? Oh no. I can hear you. Yes. Hear me
Okay.
now?
You are breaking up a little bit and going Mr. Roboto just a little bit. That means you dropped out. And Carol's here, Fishes and Loaves Life. And Robert, I believe that's Robert, Homestead Aquarius. Yeah, Homestead Aquarius is here. Hey, Robert. Now, one of the things, if some of you are wondering about some of the ingredients in some of these things, and yeah, especially the Progresso, when I was reading on it here, and it wasn't until after my wife had stocked up on this, we realized, like the tomato basil has two different soy products in it, soybean oil and then soy lecithin. But just about all of them have contain soy products on it, looking at here. But there's another one. Oh, here she is back again to see. How's that working now?
How about now?
All right.
I don't know.
Okay, now at least your lip sync is right with your voice.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah. This one, the other one here is, of course, the old favorite, Campbell's chicken noodle soup. And it is 2.5 servings, 60 calories per serving. So that is 150 calories per can when it's done up with all the added water to it. Now it, look, I'm just reading some of the ingredients, making sure. All right, everything looks good there. Soy protein isolate. What's with soy crap being stuck in all our food? So if you don't want the soy, make this stuff up yourself and can it, right, Tammy?
Yes. And if
just
you want it to be approved, wait to add the noodles.
Yeah, you can add the noodles later on because, hey, the noodles can be kept dry and they're not going to go bad. Hang on here. I just saw what happened here. Okay. Oh, I'm getting spam messages. Two spam messages. They're trying to get me to answer back. All right. Now, the one thing here I've really, really disappointed me about Campbell soups before we go on. I've said it before. Tina Weber's in the house and Hedrickson Family Farm. Hey, welcome. The one thing about the Campbell's, one of the Campbell soups, the tomato soup, high fructose corn syrup in it. I mean, geez, come on, guys. We want healthy. We don't want high fructose corn syrup in the stuff. Now, the tomato and basil here by Progresso does not have it, but it has sugar for a little bit of sweetener, but it's less than 2%. And yeah, just a little bit of sugar, less than 2%. So And Emma 3010's in here. Hey, Emma, how you doing? And Barry's in the house. Storms, radios, and cats. And once again, I will throw the link down here. So what's interesting is there's a store here called Winco. It's in the Northwest, and it has some really good deals if you know where to look in the store for them. Generally, their store brand stuff is cheaper than other stuff, except when the other stuff goes on sale, like the Bertelli pasta. When it goes on sale, then it's really cheap. But they have some no brand name stuff hidden in the bulk section away, and it looks like plain cardboard boxes up there. And you got to look on it, and written in a permanent marker on it is what type of pasta's in there. And my two sons in California with my wife, they love the extra wide egg noodles with a meat sauce. My wife calls it beefy noodles when she cooks it, and they just love that stuff to death. And I got a couple cases because they were cheap. They were less than $1 a pound. And so when she was up here, she took one of the cases back because, hey, I'm trying to cut down on my carbs. One of the things I have done, I've been pulling the big 10-pound chubs of hamburger out of the freezer, thawing it out, cooking it up, putting it into 1 pound Ziploc baggies and refreezing it. When I get enough, I'm going to try canning hamburger. So that's country law.
Yeah, canning hamburger is not that hard, but you do have to pre-cook it.
Yeah, I'm pre-cooking everything. Oh, wow. 74,000 pounds of frozen chickens scattered across an Ohio highway. Whoa. We got a new member in the house. Ooh. Woohoo. All right, Tina. Cool. Fire off the everyone that has a member, fire off some emojis. There we go. Fire off all the emojis for her. Boom. All right. Welcome, Tina. Welcome. And so, looking at your pantry, figure on, all right, you're going into the winter. In wintertime, everybody loves hot foods in wintertime. That's so, nobody really likes the hot soups in summertime. It's wintertime. It's a wintertime thing. And so that's one of the things that we've been. My wife was making sure I had plenty for the winter. Was the different soups and stuff. Got about 2 dozen of the Campbell's chicken noodle soups put in there because the grandkids are going to come over and they're going to want chicken noodle soup with Grandpa. Pick the stuff off the top. Probably clean enough to eat after. Does it count as roadkill? Jay's talking about all that frozen chicken. Hey, the frozen chicken's out there. If you can wash it off real quick. All right.
It was probably prepackaged. It's probably in plastic.
Mm-hmm. It's probably in boxes too. A lot of it's probably in boxes. So Garden State Gardener says there's still one membership left. So four of the ones he got claimed, there's still one more out there. So let's see what that one is. There says. So I'm not sure how.
I tried to claim one, but it wouldn't let me. Wouldn't even show it to me.
I'm not sure how.
I have to go, Gil, because I can hear the dog barking, and I gotta tell the boys to let him in. So I'm gonna step down. I go there. It's driving me crazy.
Okay, and Laura, Hedgehog Homestead, is in the house too. So once again, anybody wants to come up here and talk about this stuff, what you got in yours, there's the link down there. Let me go ahead and kill that banner for a moment. So yeah, figuring out on whether or not your pantry is balanced for what you need is one of the things you need to check on, because sometimes we have in the past, oh, this is something we like, it's on sale, buy a bunch of it. Oh, this is something we like, a couple weeks later, buy a bunch of it. So when stuff comes on sale and it's something we like, we buy a bunch of it. And then we get looking at it like, okay, we have holes here, here, and here. And one of the things is Hamburger Helper has been one of the things that my boys just absolutely love. And if my wife can't make a copycat recipe for it, she'll buy that particular type until she figures out how to make it where the boys like it. But one of the things we always find up we're short on is the 1 pound hamburger chubs. She gets the 5 pound chub package at Costco, where you got 5 1 pound chubs in there, frozen, and she freezes that. And wow, that just flew by there. Q's in the house. And what else did I miss here? Anyways, so there are times where we're finding, okay, we're short on hamburger. Well, hey, What the Flock is here too. And Gray 1107 is in the house. So what I've done here when stuff was on sale, I have one of the chest freezers out there. It's probably a good 2/3 full of meat. Hey, Lewis, how's it going?
It's going.
Caught you yawning.
It's going.
And so basically, here, with all my grandkids across the street and my daughter being recovering, I've been making a lot of Hamburger Helper for the boys over there and her. And so, I'm starting to work on that. But she also has a freezer full of hamburger from there, the cow they had butchered. So basically, she brings over, or she sends the boys over with a bag full of frozen packages of hamburger, and I cook it up, cool it down, bag it, send it back. Hey, it's the Jewish Redneck Prepper. Hey, how you doing, my friend? And so that's one of the things we've got going on right now is preparing a lot of cooked hamburger. And that's why I'm trying to get a bunch of mine cooked so I can actually can it and get it out of the freezer so I can put other stuff in the freezer. So, Lewis, you've been doing a lot of work on your garden and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm starting to get tired of horse manure.
How much did you harvest this year?
I'm almost 700 pounds.
And are you pressure canning or water bath canning it?
Pressure canning and freezing. Like I still got to deal with my tomatoes. They're all in the freezer as I need it. I almost got 200 pounds of them. So what I'll do is when I go to make chili or pasta sauce, I'll pull out whatever I think I need with ground beef that's in the freezer and make a batch of pasta sauce or whatever I need for chili, right? Make a whole batch of that. And then, I got peppers and onions and broccoli all in the freezer, right? Stuff I don't like pressure canning or water bathing, right? But I also do dehydrate too, right? So I do got some vegetables that I can put in the soups that are dehydrated. I just gotta let them when I go to make a whole batch of soup, right, or stews or whatever, those dehydrated vegetables will be the first to go in the pot, so that they can at least absorb the water again, right? And then I can pressure it. So.
Oh, I was just thinking about that, Anonymous, because I had made a bunch of chili and I, did some videos on it, and I froze it and put it in the seal meal. But I, when I get enough to hamburger to can and just hamburger to do one load in the pressure can of just hamburger, then I want to do a big batch of chili and can the chili. Let's see. Yeah, we're going. Oh,
yeah.
We've been hitting right close to the freezing mark here. Our forecast for actual freezing time is, we're warming back up. We're up into 37s and 38s. Sunday says chance of Saturday night and Sunday chance of snow showers. Low is around 29 on Saturday night. So that's going to be our first real freeze here, Jeremy.
Yeah, I found that if I'm going to be like doing pressure canning or something like that, right, it's going to be like I don't mind having I got pressure canned carrots and beets and potatoes, right? But I also got some of that stuff frozen for soups, right? Because I found that, like you're saying earlier, having a balanced pantry, it may not be I may not have a balanced pantry like coffee and juice or meat or vegetables, right? But at the same time, I try to have some stuff like my potatoes, right? If I'm going to be like the dehydrated vegetables, right? I try to put stuff in the freezer for soups too, So like potatoes and beets and carrots, I'll put some in the freezer to put in the soups, right? So I don't take any of the pressure can stuff like the potatoes and that, because I find to have that. Like today, for instance, I'm shoveling manure and stuff like that. I still got a day or two of that. But like today, to have pressure canned potatoes and meat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or pressure canned chili, something nice and easy at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's not an easier day where I don't have so much heavy work to do or whatever, I'll put a baked potato on the barbecue or something like that, you know what I mean? Or spend a little more time on my meal,
Yeah.
So
okay, got a question here. Tammy's answered with the part about no O2 absorbers for sugar. The only thing, if I need to store sugar not in its bag, well, sugar is naturally a preservative, so it keeps, so long as you keep it dry, it'll keep forever. So if I'm worried about moisture getting to it, I'll throw some moisture absorbers, not oxygen absorbers, in with it. Flour, for long-term flour storage, Mylar bags. I've showed the cans of the nitrogen. Give it a shot of the nitrogen down in to help displace the oxygen. Then toss an oxygen absorber in there. Vacuum seal it. And when you're vacuum sealing, so you don't get the flour dust up into your sealer, put a coffee filter across the front of it to act as to trap the flour, and then just vacuum seal it and then toss it in the freezer. The best place to store flour, once it is flour, is in the freezer. The better way to store it is keep it as wheat, and don't grind it till you need it.
Yeah, that moisture stuff, right? The mason jars and that. I don't ever use oxygen absorbers or anything like that, but I do find that having it in a cooler room, like 58 degrees and the only reason why I know that one in degrees is because I watch another channel and he's doing a root cellar, and he's always talking about 58 degrees, right? So 58 degrees or cooler, like refrigerator temperature almost, right? Will help no condensation in the mason jars. Which will create that condensation will make everything moist, and then it'll get everything moldy, right? So tried, tested, and true on keeping it at room, like on the main level. I just threw everything in the basement. Because I got the boulder foundation. Is it damp? Yeah, okay, it's damp, but a dehydrator down there, like not a dehumidifier down there. Will, because there again, like you were doing another show on dehumidifiers, right? And even in the winter, right? Because I got a sub and a moist, like the boulder foundation, it's always damp down there. So leave the basement, have a dehumidifier, but it's always cool down there. Like I could go down there in plus 40 weather, and it's got to be like, I don't know, 20 Celsius or cooler.
Yeah.
And so it does wonders, right?
Yeah. All right, got another question here. So CB at Hugo Homestead is asking, how would an EMP affect the solar power system? And like Tibor said, depends, a very large one, and it'd be toast. Each panel, if it's a good panel, will have built into it a crud. Just lost the electrical term for it. Basically, allows voltage to go only one way, and so that would help protect it a little bit. But even still, if it's a massive one, it could overpower it back and fry them. The other thing too to be concerned about is the inverter, to take it from the 12 volt or 24 volt and turn it into 110 volts or 100 or 220 volts. Depends on what type of inverter you got. That I got a couple small inverters because I don't plan on using a lot of electricity. If we get hit by an EMP, which means, hey, the internet's out, hey, I'm not going to be on here, so I'm not going to be using my computers all the time. I'm not going to be using a lot of stuff all the time. So I got some 2500 watt inverters. I got one in a EMP bag, so it'll be good afterwards. But depending on the system they have, if they have a pre-built system, there's not really much you can do to protect a pre-built system or even a homemade system. Don't get whatever they want. Don't let them get sucked in with one of these EMP guard things, that's supposed to shield your system for it. It will not do it. Because of the way, the wiring and stuff is, it says, oh, it stops it here. Well, no, it doesn't, because wiring on the other side of it will generate a electric current from an EMP. So anyways, so it depends, on how big of a system they have and what other backup stuff they have as well.
I would take a look. The biggest thing about that, I'd be more worried about the sun with that than anything else.
Pure sine wave, yeah,
because that's based upon where you live, right? Like if you live like in Ottawa here in Canada, I'd kind of be worried about it. If you live in Washington, I'd kind of be worried about it. Where the governments are, because that's where most likely it's going to hit. I live in the middle of nowhere, so like for me, I'd be more worried about the sun when it comes to that.
And that's Emma's comment here. So I need food storage for what we use, and I cook a lot. and that's the thing is having storage for what you use. And that's one of the things like my wife and I did was to we got the bags of rice. We got bags of wheat. We got 800 pounds of wheat. 800 pounds of wheat from Wheaton Grain, and it comes in a double bag in a really rubbery type bag that's moisture proof and puncture resistant and everything else. And so the wheat stuff we have is be good for years and years. Yeah. But
I don't want to knock.
Our problem is we look at what we eat. Of what we eat, what can we grow? Which is one of the reasons we grow a lot of tomatoes, is because we add diced tomatoes to a lot of stuff. Even the regular hamburger helper, like the cheesy enchilada or crunchy taco. Mix it up, dump in a can of diced tomatoes. You got vegetable in there now. The boys like it. It tastes great, and it makes it go farther. Chili mac, dump a can of diced tomatoes in there. Diced tomatoes makes a lot of things more flavorful and go farther.
Oh yeah, big time, man, big time. But I always believed in the mason jars because a lot of the bags, unless if they're like really thick and durable. I got a dog here, right? That's well over 100 pounds now, and if he gets close to it, the bag's done. I'm not too particularly careful with bags, but even at that, your milk bags, your 4-liter milk bags, the 3 that their food, their food use, you can reseal them. Your vacuum sealed bags for meat and some of the meat products that come in bags.
Yeah,
they'll do. As long as they're in a dark area, they're as good as your Mylar bags. And you paid for them. You don't have to pay them again.
Yeah. All right, got some stuff here going on in the side chat. So Emma, you're right. Beginners at food storage often put off from even trying because some preppers make it sound so hard, or they say you got to get a year's supply at one shot. No, you don't. The best way for a beginner to do is get an extra week's worth of food, meals. Plan out meals. Get enough to do an extra week's worth of meals, more than what they have in the house already, and then add another week to it, and just keep as they use, replace what they use, and just keep adding to it a little bit more. That's probably that also makes it so easy if you do it small steps, and what you're eating, you can get a year's worth of food really quick, especially if you like homemade chilies, anything with beans and stuff. My wife and I, when she was up here before she went home last Sunday, we went over to Winco, and they had the cans of chili beans, just the beans. What was it? 59 cents a can. So we grabbed a bunch of them. And then Brolum's, Brolum's, that's right. This is the last week on it. Dang it. Or no, it was this last week. Dang it. Missed it. I wanted to go get more. Brolum's was having their 2-week stock up sale, case sale. So you can selling stuff in cases. And she got some of the cans of the Food Club chili, and it tastes almost as good as Denison's, which makes it way better than Stag, way better than Nally's, way better than Hormel chili. And so she got a bunch of cans of it. Actually, I think she got 2 cases and took those back to California, and left me with half a case here because, I'm trying, I'm trying to lose weight, but still, and she knows I was going to make more homemade chili. So if a new person is starting into it, they just need to, start stocking up on their favorites and what they eat, and what they eat. Don't stock up on stuff they don't like. That's the biggest mistake a beginner prepper can do, is to stock up on stuff they don't like.
Yeah, that's anyone, even guys that have been doing it for years, right? Like I got stuff like pancake mix. I don't got a lot of that because I don't eat a lot of pancakes. But it is nice to have a change, right?
Yeah. All right, we're coming up. Oh, we're at 20 minutes here. I want to shift gears now. So everyone, go through your pantry, take a notebook to do a little inventory and figure out where your holes are for the wintertime to get you through the wintertime into the summer. Now we're going to switch to ancestors. So my dad would have been 92 today. He passed away. I got to get the dates right here. I met my wife in 87. We got married in 88. My dad passed away on Father's Day, 89. So, and he had cancer because he, as a little kid, he started smoking and he got so addicted. He couldn't, he tried everything he could to quit smoking, and being around other people that smoked, it just made it too hard. I mean, he just couldn't, and it wound up getting him. So my dad, I got some stuff here from my dad. Just mementos here I want to share with you guys. First of all, my dad, when he passed away, he was a machinist at the time for Signode Corporation. They make the Signode strapping and Pasolloid nails for the nail guns. And he had his machinist toolbox there. And when I opened up the lid, there were 3 pictures that are in the lid that were in that lid. So the first one here is grandkids. And not all the grandkids. All my sister's kids and a couple of my brother's kids at the time. And so this was one of the ones he had pinned up in there that he looked at every day.
No.
The next one here, I'm going to make myself big on this one. Get the over here. Okay, so this one here was at the Signode picnic where the other picture was at. So here's my sister. She's 10 years older than me. Well, that's her husband. That is my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
She passed away the year Chris and I got married. She was born in 1899. That is my older brother's wife. And this is my mom. She passed away on Christmas. Let me get the date. 2007. So this was the other picture that was up there. The other picture he had also at the picnic, and this one got the most sun on it, but that's my dad. He was the chief. He was in charge of the massive barbecues they had there, the grills at the place. And so he grilled all day long. And so this was the other picture he had up there in his machinist toolbox. Now, in his pocket right there, I got his glasses. And these were kept at work. So when he got to work, he'd pull them out of his locker, put them in his pocket, put them back. These, I'm not sure if you can tell, as the bifocal line there. These are his machinist ones, bifocal ones. Trying to see so you can see the line there on it. But when he passed away, I put these on. I couldn't see out of them. Oh crap! They're still fuzzy, but I can see and make stuff out.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
But I don't need the bifocal shit. I just need mine are just cheaters for reading.
Mm-hmm. Mine too.
Now, I got several other things of his. I want to go through it in the right, pick the things out here, right? Okay, there's that. Okay, so right after he met my mom, he got out of the rodeo, had already picked up a lot of machinist stuff. I went to a trade school for a year, became a machinist, was working at a place called Rocket Jet down in Southern California. And if anybody knows anything about the space program, the jet engine, Rocket Jet was heavily involved.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be kind of hard to see. This is a tape measure from Rocket Jet.
That's cool.
Okay. While he was there, my dad, they were all sitting around. They're about ready to lose a big contract with the Air Force. They were trying to make a functional ejection seat system. At the time, they weren't using, explosive bolts weren't even a thing. There were four valve cylinders that would lock the seat in place, and they wanted to get them all to release exactly at the same time. Well, the air valve was having a lot of turbulence, and the pressure wasn't hitting exactly instantly. And during lunch, they're sitting around talking and stuff. My dad's fiddling and stuff and thinking about it. Gets up, takes a brand new piece of lathe stock and machines. Let me make myself big again so you can see this thing. This is a piece of history, folks. Machines this. It's got an angle on it and stuff so it can get in and do a taper in the hole and make a cone in the center of the valve so that when the air comes in, it hits that cone and goes and doesn't do turbulence, but flows evenly out and engages the cylinders all at the exact same time. This saved the contract for Rocket Jet. This made the first ejection seat work.
Very cool. Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, and this is one of the ones I guard.
Julie Evans looks like hardtack.
I sent Bob a special email, with a link to show some of these other things.
That's cool.
My dad machined this, and it is a very easy but solid, tight C-clamp for use on the mill and the other things.
Oh, wow.
He also machined and made two of these.
My.
Not wood. These are like the wooden ones you see. Oh, yeah. This is to work on the thing. Now, what's interesting is, let me back this off here. It comes apart and it locks. So it's a pressure sensitive on it. So it clamps down in and it's a quick release on it for getting it off of whatever he's clamping with. He has made two of these things. These things are super cool.
It's a lot of detail work. Wow.
Oh, and I don't have it here. I had out there. He also did a machined on the mill a vise that goes on the drill press, and I got that out there too. I forgot to bring that in. This was one of my dad's belt buckles.
Oh, pretty.
And turquoise was kind of inlays not shown very well, but I got the belt rolled up elsewhere, and I keep this in my dresser drawer. Along with the first belt buckle he gave me, a copper belt buckle.
Wow, very cool.
So I don't want to damage this one, so I stopped. When he died, I stopped wearing this one.
The other one looked brand new.
My mom gave me my dad's dress, mother of pearl cufflinks. And this was the watch my dad gave me my senior year for Christmas.
Oh.
It's got a train on the front. Kind of hard to see it there. And it's got the night and day inside moving section.
I love old pocket watches.
And the final thing I showed you guys last week, my dad's Special Deputy Sheriff, Clark County, Nevada, number 722. And he always used to joke about this because there were 4 special deputy sheriffs. Their job was to protect the showgirls. When any of them had a threat of somebody threatening them or whatever, they went and provided bodyguard service. And my dad used to joke. He goes, "Yeah, that was like asking the wolves to protect the lambs."
Yeah, it's very cool.
And so, I mean, this is today I'm having a hard time keeping it straight right now, folks. My dad was one of those characters that you rarely meet. That, I mean, he'd give you the shirt off his back and work so hard on everything. He had a true work ethic because he was born in 1930. 1 year into the Depression, and down there in Indio, California, he had to. Basically at 11, he was running the gas station in the town. So that was 1941. A lot of people knew. A lot of people knew that knew the war was coming, even though we were trying to keep us out of it, and still being just starting to recover from the Depression. And so he was running the gas station. His mother was running the Baggins Hotel down there. Yes, Baggins as in the Hobbit type Baggins, but not, it's just a coincidence. And so she was running that, and it was, and his grandmother was a deputy sheriff for Riverside County. And so, it's one of the things that's like, it's drilled in his head. You want something, you work for it.
Yeah. That was my dad too. Yep.
Yeah, that's my dad too.
And it was just, and one of the things he taught me and my brother is the saying of being a jack of all trades, master of none is not what you want to be. You want to be a jack of all trades and a master of many. So he taught me how to do electrical, plumbing, carpentry, machinist, welding, farrier work.
Wow.
All before I graduated from high school.
Farrier work ain't no joke either.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of everything in that too.
Yeah. Well, farrier working made me nervous, especially when I heard how I proved all the doctors wrong. He was shoeing a big horse that was a ornery horse, and he was trying to shoot it, and the horse pulled away from him and kicked him in the over a cord of wood. That's a 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot pile of wood. Kicked him over that, and the doctor said, "You ain't gonna have any kids." And then 2 years later, baby brother comes along too.
Wow. Whoopsie.
My sister said my mom was pissed.
I bet. Oh my goodness.
But yeah. So so my dad, shaped a lot of who I was. He's been gone over half my life. He passed away, 34 years. Oh no, 33 years ago.
Sorry.
So, but it's just it's interesting because my brother's sons and their kids are all over Facebook, and they're always talking and posting things with each other. And there are a lot of the family history they're not getting. And so I had an opportunity for Lily, my nephew's oldest daughter. She was I posted about Angela Lansbury. She goes, "Oh, that's so sad." And I posted again was, your get it right here. your great grandmother knew her and was friends with her. And Lily just freaked out, what, real, what? Yeah. And I told her about how they met on one of the movie shoots. So with family and stuff, it's just, I just want to, it's my dad's birthday today. I just wanted to share a little bit about my dad. Born in Indio, California, Riverside County. At age 8, he stepped off the front porch of the house down there, and a rattlesnake under the porch bit him just a little bit above the ankle. And you could have had woke him up. Sorry, I was reading side chat there. Him a little bit, but it was the horse venom they gave to counteract the rat. It's called horse serum to counteract the venom. The horse serum nearly killed him, and they were going to say they were in there. So, we got to cut his leg off and everything else. And his grandmother, being a deputy sheriff, walked into the room, sat down in a chair next to his bed with a double-barrel shotgun, and told the doctor, "You ain't cutting his leg off. Do your job." And he didn't lose his leg, but by the time he was a full-grown adult, that leg was 2.5 inches shorter, because what the horse serum did with the venom stunted the growth of from the knee down. He went on at Bob's here. Bob, you missed it. You missed the story, Bob.
Tell that one part again, though, about the piece that he machined, so Bob can hear it.
Okay.
The what?
Okay. My dad was a machinist when he passed away. He machined this, not big deal. It's just a C clamp. But he did weld a piece of real hard facing on there. He made these, which he machined from scratch, and they're loose end, so it can come out, so he can do a quick release off the work and put it back, quick on and off.
What kind of a milling machine did he have?
Whatever they had at Signode Corporation, big one. His welding helmet, one of the guys took and rode across his welding helmet. Trick it. Mm-hmm. And that's my dad's nickname, was Trick It. You want something fixed up? Take it to Trick It. He can fix anything. Mm-hmm. Back though, when I was a wee little lad, like one, my dad was working for a rocket jet down there in Southern California. Mm-hmm. And they had a contract with the Air Force for developing an ejection seat system, the first ejection seat system.
What year was that?
1958.
Mm-hmm.
And they could, basically it was an air powered system. They didn't have explosive bolts and everything else, but they had the cylinders that would retract the bolts or the pins out of the seat so it could be ejected. Well, the valve that the air ran through that ran the 4 cylinders kept on getting air turbulence in there, and so they wouldn't move at the same time, because the air turbulence, one would pull and another one would hang up. Well, they were about ready to lose the contract, and they had until that evening to figure out the system to get it to work. And so my dad at lunchtime was listening to everybody talk about different things and stuff on. He wasn't part of that project. He was working on a different project, and they're all around lunchtime complaining about doing it. So he went and took a brand new piece of stock, with cutting stock, went on the grinder and ground it all up. Turned it. I'm gonna make myself big again, Bob, so you can see this.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah. So he turned it, ground it, angled it a little bit, did the angle on it and stuff, so it could go in and do it. And basically, he took what they were, the valve, they were machined another valve, they were valve body, and made a pyramid cone in the bottom. So when the air came in, it hit that and it would all go out evenly. This saved Rocket Jet the contract. And he kept this because they made a big deal about it with him. So he kept this, after he machined the first one.
So what part did he machine?
He made the valve body that worked.
It would take far more than that cutting tool to do that too.
No, basically, this is what he went down in the bottom to put the cone in the bottom. This is what he took that down inside to machine down into the valve body, and then they threaded the top. They threaded inside, everything else on it. But the cone part, making the cone part to make that so that didn't do the air turbulence in there and would flow into the 4 ports coming off the valve body to go to those 4 cylinders to retract the pins. Hey, Rachel.
Background. I like the new background, Bob.
Oh, thank you, darling. Yeah, I got a little bit busy in here today, but had the security system. Bingo. It's almost complete. It's almost complete. They put a bunch of stuff in. Yeah. And they've got a little more to do.
I got to go get him ready, but I just wanted to pop up for a little bit of your pop stuff. And,
thank you, Carol.
God bless him and happy birthday in heaven to him. And, God bless you too, Gil, for keeping his memory alive. I'll talk to you guys soon. I mean, maybe later if you're still on.
Is Courtney's not going live tonight, is she?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think she's traveling today.
Yeah, I think she's maybe in the car. So you're probably right. She's probably not going live. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Okay.
Later, fishes.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just like, so much stuff. He would take, when he was working at Signode had 2 divisions. They had Signode, which made all the strapping material, both the polyester strapping and the metal strapping bands and stuff, with the big red orange crimping things on them, and Passiloid, which was the nail division part of it, and they would get nail guns back that had been damaged. Someone tossed them all in the box there, and they left the hose connected up, and it went and it drove a nail through the piston head of another gun. So they'd get these bad people complaining and say, blah blah blah, and they I'm not sure what happened, but they were going to junk these things. So he'd take that, he'd take the aluminum head, he'd take and weld it up with the TIG welder, machine it out on the inside where the weld beat it on the inside, machine it back out, and fix it up again, and basically repair the whole thing. And he repaired several of them. He goes, "What do you want me to do with these?" They said, "Take them home. We don't want to see those around here. Those were damaged goods. Take them home." So my brother and I wound up with, each one of us wound up with 2 16-penny nail guns, 2 8-penny nail guns, and 1 4-penny nail gun each. Oh, and a sheet wall nail gun for the drywall stuff.
Hey, Storms.
Metal strapping wire. Yeah, they made all of them. They did at the place. They made the black nylon polyester stuff, the white, the steel. Every time one of the rolls got slightly damaged or dinged, they had to throw the stuff out. Well, everybody, instead of throwing it out, everybody says, "Okay, this is damaged. Okay, sign off." You went to shop foreman, sign off. I'm taking this one home. It's damaged. And we had a cart with 3 big spools of strapping on it. And when my brother was doing landscaping with the railroad ties, he used a bunch of that.
Oh, Kaylin, the system recognizes almost any movement. This place is wired, man. It's wired. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I noticed around my place too that all my neighbors have got cameras all over. So it's good to live here. It's very good to live here.
That means your neighbors care about their property.
They do.
Yeah, it's a lot like my security system. It's got no wires, but it knows what's going on, and it barks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that one of your drums up on the wall there, Bob?
Yeah, I just hung some of my drums up.
Cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got something to show you, Bob. So I made this for Scout Camp.
Mm-hmm. Good old triangle, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can get different sounds depending where I hit on it. Really cool. Yeah, I did that for Scout Camp, so for for get all our scouts back for dinner time. It's not as good as one of your drums, but hey, it's a little bit of music tune.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I've got a lot of homemade instruments over in the Philippines. A whole bunch of them, singing bowls and bells, all kinds of stuff. Okay. I'm still figuring out the phone part of this system, so.
Yeah.
Got
Keyboard.
to
What was interesting?
Meet more of my neighbors today. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Tibor, every summer they would shut down for 2 weeks and pull all the pneumatics off the assembly line and replace them, whether they were worn out or not. That's where I got most of my pneumatics for my haunted house, because they'd pull them off, throw them in the bin. My dad would say, "Hey, whoop, sign it. I'm taking all those home." So all the control air pneumatic control valves, the cylinders, tons of it.
Just a sec.
So yeah, there's Signode was a great company. And what's interesting, Signode, for all the plants they had across the country, only had one that was a union shop. And what they did is they would negotiate with the unions for what went on in that shop, and whatever the pay rate was that they settled on, they paid everybody across the United States that pay rate. So they couldn't get into any of the other plants, because if they tried getting into the plant, they go, "Wait, we're already making that. So you want us to pay union dues for something we're already making?" And so the union finally realized, okay, these guys are being honest with us. They're trying, and they have just one sacrificial lamb, as it were. Second half is now show and tell time. Yeah. And one of the reason I wanted to share about stuff about my dad is not to poke bad about anybody. Any mementos you have about your parents, show them to your kids and your grandkids, so they learn about where you came from, about your parents, and about your parents' story. Hey, Idaho Garden Girl. Hey, Alicia, how's it going? So yeah, I mean, because it's interesting. My youngest son was messing around out in my shop and saw my dad's machinist toolbox setup sitting there, and he goes, "What's in that?" And so when he showed interest in it, I opened it up to him and I started showing him all these different pieces and components and stuff that my dad built from scratch as a machinist, and showed him some of the stuff my dad had welded. And when the Boy Scouts brought out the welding merit badge, my son was one of the first ones to go get it. So it was, really cool that he took that to heart, and he's got a collection of, he's got a toolbox that you can put all my dad's tools that I inherited and all of mine into my son's massive Craftsman rolling tank of a toolbox setup. It's just huge. And he's got a big monster one, and he's thinking about getting a second one. Because unlike my dad's stuff and mine were you pull out a drawer and you got to go picking through the drawer to find which little specialty tool you need out of that. He's got everything laid out where he can see absolutely everything at all times. He's much more neater than me or my dad. But I go to every now and then I go to my dad's toolbox, open it up to look for something. It's like, crap, I forgot he had that. Bob's making music. Share it with us, Bob. You're muted.
These are just some 6-inch cymbals I bought the other day. Yeah, these are kind of like Asian cymbals. You'll see them in the bands. They'll just yeah, like that. Yeah. It's been a long day.
Yeah. I spent part of the day out there reorganizing my shop, getting ready for winter, because I got to be able to park my tractor, the ride-on lawnmower, and my truck inside once the snow starts coming down hard. So hey, David, how's it going? David Lynn, your prepper principal, is in the house. And so, I got to get it all set up. So I'm moving everything around. I had, using my tractor to move lumber from one side to the other. I pulled out a lot of the IBC totes. I pulled them out till I get things situated around so I can actually reorganize everything now. So everything will fit in there, and I'll be able to get everything in for this winter.
Yeah, I'm doing
it's going to be a cool one.
Yeah,
I got a little tree thing that I made. Oh, my little.
Cool.
Yeah. Keeps me busy, man.
Stress reliever.
Yeah.
Hey, brother Donnie. Prep for Eternity is in the house. So,
hey, Garden State. Oh, hey, Joe.
So yeah, so Bob, fond memories or bad memories about your parents?
Both. They're people. They make mistakes and stuff like that. But yeah.
As a teenager, sometimes I didn't like my dad, especially as a pre-teenager and just barely getting into teenagers, when it's he pull off the belt or making me go cut a branch off the willow tree. But hey, I have to say, I learned that there were consequences for doing bad things. All right, Stephanie. Thanks for coming in. Have a great night. But as the older I get, the wisdom finally starts showing up. You can have a lot of knowledge, but wisdom starts showing up, realizing exactly what my parents were trying to teach me.
Yeah. You don't see it at the time, but later on you do. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I was pretty smart. I listened. Well,
we listened too, but still we did stupid things. There were things we did, it's like, all right, he didn't talk about this. Let's go do it anyways. He didn't say we couldn't. And then, then the hammer came down or the belt came down. Hey, Mary Beth.
What didn't help my family was my brother's a psychopath. He is. Yeah. He is a psychopath. I wouldn't have kept him in my house. If it was my kid, no, get him out of here. I'm serious. I would have just get out. He was a monster. He was an animal. So that's what made it kind of hard for the whole family, really.
Yeah. I consider myself very lucky for that, because I had an older sister, an older brother, and a younger brother. And my older sister and older brother had a different dad, and he was a a playboy.
Mm-hmm.
He had, he had, after he was married to my mom, he's, what she found out later that he had 2 or 3 other girlfriends at all times.
Yeah, I agree with you, Alicia. He's still a psychopath. He'll never be anything different than what he is. He is a monster, Yeah. The only thing that changed with him was he got older. And I remember when my mom passed away, that's when I cut ties. That's it. You're gone. There is nothing between us. Never has been anything between us other than my parents. When they passed away, dude, you stay away from me. You stay away from me and mine,
Yeah, fortunately with mine, I didn't have that. My older brother, Kevin was cuddly. He used to drive me and my younger brother nuts. Even as we were 10, 11 years old, he'd come up, hug us, and rub it. Oh, I love you too. And it's like, dude. But he always also had all the girls on him all the time during high school, and he was dating 2 or 3 girls, and he told them, "Hey, I'm just learning. Okay, I want to know what it's like to be a proper guy." Which surprised the heck out. Which is something my brother and I picked up on. Like, oh, we need to learn how to be a proper guy from the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my old, like my sister. She's 10 years older than I am. 3 years older than me, and my younger brother was 2 years younger than me. But right now, it's just me and my sister, the only ones left. My brother picked up HIV from a blood transfusion.
Mm-hmm.
And,
well, I'm reading the comments here. Don't be sorry about it, but it made me a tough guy. And the way I look at life right now, you bring it. I've already been through it. Bring it. It's nothing new,
Yeah. And I bet it also made you a better dad.
Yeah, it did. Yep, I was a good dad. You bet. Was and still am as much as I can be, but the kids are all grown up now, so. One thing I can say is none of my kids have been in and out of lockup. None of that stuff. They learned fast. Just I'd call them on it when you screw up. You messed up, and you're going to face the consequences, not me. And that kind of stuff. Just talk to them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, all the books that are written on parenthood aren't written right. All the ones that my wife and I got to read, it was like, after we look at, there was only one book that came close to being proper, and that was Dare to Discipline. Not punish, discipline. Let the kids know, hey, if this is the line, you cross it, this is what's going to happen. And make sure they know that.
Yeah.
And when they crossed it, make sure that it happened. They got disciplined. They learned. It's like, okay, there are limits to what we can do.
Yeah, I remember if you guys remember, what's it like in the States when you guys were like kids? My dad was telling me stories that if he screwed up at school, he got a strap on the palm of the hands. Every house he walked by, he'd get strapped. Mom would give him the strap. When the old man got home, that was it. You knew you screwed up. But now you can't even do that. You can't even look at your kids the right way without having Children's Aid called on you.
There we go. Now I'm unfrozen again. No, the feeling.
It's sad what the government's doing to parents these days. You can't discipline your kids.
Being in 7th grade and can't trust you.
Like I remember being a kid. My dad gave me the strap.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
Yeah. And when one of the things, from my mom and dad, learning the discipline from my mom and dad is that, it's like, you don't, you don't steal, you don't lie, da, 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 da. And it was, it was a changing time there in California schools when I was going through it. That when I first started junior high, they used to be, in junior high they had what we called the Red Rocket. It was a handball paddle, for playing, the paddles are used, that with all the holes drilled in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the coaches would use it on anybody whenever time they screwed up. If you're late getting out to get dressed, they give you a whack and stuff. And it doesn't matter why you were late. And it took a while. Actually, the one time when I complained to my parents about it, next day I got called in the office. There they are with the two coaches, and both coaches are looking scared stiff at my dad because my dad was nothing to mess with. Let's see if that's going to come in. His internet's locked up. And he says, "Hey, no, you will not beat my son. You'll tell me and I will beat my son." I'm like, "Thanks, Dad." But that was that. I mean, and when other kids heard that what my dad came in, they went home and told their parents, and their parents came in and said no, and that was the end of teachers hitting students in gym class.
Yeah.
In the Los Angeles school system. Mm-hmm. But it's problem is when the coaches stopped punishing, the parents stopped punishing too. No discipline, kids went wild.
Exactly. I'm 42 now, and as a teenager, they were taking that right away from the parent. Yeah.
Tibor, I never used a belt on my kids. I always used my hand. That way, I felt what they were feeling. I knew how hard I was hitting. And generally, it was like they knew. It's like, hey, you do this, you're going to get 3 swats. You do this, you're going to get 5 swats. You do this, you're going to get 1 swat. And after a while, I didn't have to swat them anymore. It's like, they started looking at, what are you planning on doing? How many swats is that going to be? Oh, never mind, I ain't doing it. You just tell them stuff, and then they.
It's sad because I remember my dad telling me, like, back in his day, being a teenager or a young kid, the parents could instill the fear of God into you, right? They had that right. But now the kids got the
lost him again. And he's trying to come back in. What did Alicia say? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. My grandfather, my dad's father, passed away when my dad was 9, I think it was 9 or 10. He was killed in an accident with the combine. He was working on it, fell off, and got crushed. but when a wheel went over him. But his stepfather was the town marshal, and he was the one who had inherited the Baggins Hotel that my grandmother worked at. But he never talked about his stepfather ever hitting him. He says, "You're old enough to know better. If you have a question about whether you should do it or not, ask me." And unfortunately, my dad said, unfortunately, when he asked him, "Can I smoke?" he told him, "Yeah, you can smoke. It's you're gonna have to pay for it. I'm not paying for your cigarettes. You're gonna have to pay for them. You have to work for them." And he said he wished they had known about not smoke, about what tobacco can cause, and had told him, no, it's not good for you. But unfortunately, his stepfather smoked as well. And back in the 30s, all the movie stars smoked, and everybody smoked, and all the ads said it was glamorous to smoke.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember being a young kid, 5, 6 years old. My sister's a couple of years younger than me. Both my parents smoked. We were downstairs. We got into Dad's smokes there, and they were still in bed. It was like a week. And smoking his cigarette. He sat us both down, made us smoke up half our faces. I swear I'd never do it again. I'm smoking to this day,
Yeah. Yeah, my dad never smoked around us.
That day.
Yeah. He never ever smoked around us. He either go out behind the garage, out to the milk barn, somewhere else to smoke. Never smoked around us. My mom stopped smoking when my older brother was born, and but my grandmother was a freight train. She'd be sitting in her rocking chair with a cigarette in her mouth, a cigarette in one hand, and 2 other cigarettes sitting in the ashtrays, all going. And it's like, yeah, well, you got 4 cigarettes going. What? Oh! And she'd put one out carefully and put them all out and keep one going. And about an hour later, Gamble, you got 3 more cigarettes going.
Well, I'm going to bounce out of here, guys. I got some stuff to do.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to go ahead and end it now. It's been a while, but
peace, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Bob, for coming in, Bob. So just for everybody, just as a reminder, as far as the beginning half of it, go to get a notebook, go through your pantry. Think about all the food, all the meals you want to make and stuff, and what you think you have. See where your holes are. Get those holes filled before Thanksgiving. Try to get everything taken care of before Thanksgiving. Get everything taken care of so you have enough to take you through to summer, to the first day to June 1st or whatever. That way you have so you have food coming in from the garden. And so, yeah, just make sure your pantry's ready to go and it's stocked and it has all the good things you enjoy. And because in the wintertime, good food can keep you happy no matter what the weather looks like outside. It can be all cloudy and stormy. If you have good food, good hot soups or whatever it is that you like, chicken fried steak, biscuits and gravy, whatever it is, make sure you have plenty of it to keep yours and your family's spirits up. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here now. I want to thank everyone that came up here. If you're still in here, if you're not subscribed to Bob or Lewis here or Tammy, Rebel Canners, check them out. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. And actually, what am I doing tomorrow night? Oh, yeah, tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping for Tactical Tuesday, going to talk about firewood, batteries, backup heat, backup power, propane heater, basically stuff you're going to need if the power goes out to stay warm and have light. All righty? So take care, and I'll see you tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern on Gray Man Prepping. See you later.